Okay, again we are back with the classes of Linux. So today I'm going to discuss the topic from the PDF as my head is not very good. So that's why I'm going to talk from the PDF, right? For today's class only. The normal mode will be from the next classes, right? So in our last class, means yesterday's class, we have discussed about some bash programming, bash shells, what are the needed, and then we are talking about some command line arguments. So why these command lines arguments are required, right? Why these command lines argument are required? Just a minute. So this command line we are talking about, it is not just terminal, it is directly we are trying to use some utility or command or informing the utility or command file that how much group of file or reading or writing the files for the process part. So the command or utility will use some options, right? So we will see that here a command is actually present, right? Just a minute. So here ls command we are taking as an example. The example is saying that ls minus a star. It is saying ls minus a slash star. So this command, this ls is itself a command, and with the line argument minus a and slash star is another. So there are two symbols or two particular command actually passing at the same time. So ls minus a star hash. So hash slash star. So ls is the command and minus a and slash star is the argument that passing through that command line. So here we can see that what is the possible scenario, how it is actually going on. That suppose we have a shell script writing this my shell, this particular line, right? This particular command have been written and there are three segments. One is my shell, second one is foo, and third one is bar. So this my shell, foo, and bar. Talking about what is this particular part, we have mentioned, we have termed this as 1, 2, and 3. So what is the point of 1, what is the point of 2, and what is the point of 3? So this 1, the shell script, my shell, it is the name of the shell script. My shell is the name of the shell script. Foo is the command line argument passed with the shell script, that is my shell, and bar is the second command line argument that is passed through that particular shell programming, that is my shell. So my shell programming name is my shell, and through that my shell's programming name, the shell program name, we are passing two different command argument. One is foo and second one is bar. So my shell, foo, bar, three different segment. First one is the name of the shell programming, second and third one, the foo and bar, is the command line argument that is passed through that particular my shell. So here the thing is, in this shell, if we are trying to refer some argument, we're referring as above that my shell, shell, foo, and bar. So three different segment, that is 1, 2, and 3. So myself is the shell program, foo is the command line argument, and bar is the command line argument. And this dollar that we are used here, that is a built-in shell variable. Dollar that we are using is the built-in shell variable. Now here as an example, it is given that try to write following for commands where some shell script name is given, name $0, number of argument is given as $hash, and actual argument is given as $1 and $2. So some shell script name, it is an exercise that we have to do, right, or you people have to do. There's some shell script name, number of argument that is passing, and actual arguments passing through it. So we have to write some following command and argument for that, right? Now there is an example given here that what is the shell script name, what is the number of argument, and what is the actual argument given. So we can see this is an example given sum 1120, right? this sum 11, 20, an example is given. So the sum is the shell script name. 11 and 20 is the command line arguments or the arguments that are going to be passed with that particular uh, shell file, right? So sum is the shell file name. Second one, math 4 minus 7. Again, this math is the shell file name. Second one, $d, and there is nothing, any type of variable or argument is passing. So D is a shell script name. So everything that sum, math, D, BP, ls, cal, find, base, all the terms are actually some shell script name that are going to be done. So here in the next part, we can see some chart that what is the scenario, which one is the shell script name, which one is the actual argument, which is the number of argument to the script, right? So we can see the first one. For the first one, the sum 11, 20, right? Sum is my shell script name, so that's why it is written under the part of shell script name. Second, 11 and 20. So it is saying that how many number of arguments are passing. So 11 and 20, two numbers. So the number of arguments are passing through the script, that is 2. And actual argument, it is saying that it may be 11 and 20. So how much arguments are there? There are two arguments, and one is 11 and the one is 20. Second, for the second case, that is math 4 minus 7. Math is my shell script name. How many arguments are there? Three arguments are there. So 4 minus 7. So $1 will be 4, $2 will be minus, and $3 will be 7. So by looking into the scenario, by looking into the argument scenario, we can actually find out that what is the shell file name, how many number of arguments are there, or what are the number of arguments are present, and how many values or what are the arguments passing through it, right? So by easily, if we draw something, so for the last one, find bs 4824 big. So what is the shell script name? That is find bs. How many arguments are there? Number of arguments are 4. And what are the $1 is 4, $2 is 8, $3 is 24, and $4 is big. So we can see this is the answer for this, right? So this is the answer for this. So by these terms, by looking into the scenario, we can actually find out that which one is the shell script name, how many number of arguments, and what is the arguments, or what are the arguments that is passing through it, right? Just a minute. Now, the next part, that is following script, right? There's a question that following script is used to print some command line argument and will show us how to access them. So there are some arguments that have been written here, such as VI, this is an editor, VI demo. So demo is the file name, VI editor, hashtag bin sh. So we can actually mention the demo.sh as a shell file, or either we can mention like hashtag bin.sh, that mentioning it, this is a shell programming that is stored in some shell file, right? So I think the better one is demo.sh. By easily we can actually make it understand that it's a shell file. So now the thing is, there are some arguments, there are some echoing statement that will show us the command line arguments and will show us how to access them, right? First statement, that echo total number of command line argument are $. So total number of command line arguments. What are the number of command line arguments? It will display here. $0 is a script name, $1 is the first argument, $2 is the second argument, and all of them are. So this is a statement by which we are trying to find out this particular segment. Means what we actually doing here. This particular statement actually we are trying to find out. Right. So let's see that how the things goes on. So there are several options to run this particular program. We have seen that how to run this particular program. slash dot demo. We are trying to enter some value. So as it is asking for some value, there are number of command line arguments are. So there are some dollar hash. So some value will be inputted here. So we have inputted the value of hello world. So then it will be going for the check whether it is working or not. So demo, the demo hello world we are getting here. And what is saying that we cannot for any script, we have to use the above command. I am going to show how the command for the rest of the. So this is not the value that we are going to put the value right there. So next, the input and output time, how we can actually input or output the redirection, how the input can be redirected, how the output can be redirected, talking on the particular scenario. So what is the thing that most of the commands in this particular Linux programming give output on the screen and take output from the keyboard. Right? It is a simple rule for all the programming languages. Whether it is C, Java, C++, Python, it will taking some input from the keyboard and provide show the output into the screen, into the desktop screen. So, but what happened in the Linux that it is possible that it sends some output file and also reads some input file. So we are trying to read some files and providing some output as a file scenario. Such as the example is given, that ls command, again the most popular command, that is ls, the most used command. The purpose of ls command to find out the files and directory names present in our system. So this ls command give us output to screen and also show us some output of files. So ls will not only show some output, it will also show the output of the files and directories. So ls greater than file name. If I write this particular command, so it means that output of ls command to file name. So we are trying to put the output of the ls command into a particular file. So ls greater than file name to put the output of the ls command into a file name. So there are several directions: greater than, double greater than, less than. So the double, so single greater than, it is meaning to output the Linux command result. Single greater than, it is meaning that to output the Linux command result into a file. To output the Linux command result into a file. And what is the file name? We can write any of the file name. Linux ls, the command needs to write, then greater than file name. So we are by this particular redirection symbol, we can actually output the Linux command result into a file name. And if the file already exists, now there is a scenario that we are writing some file name, and if the file is already existing, so it will, what happens that it will overwrite the data that was present in our file. So suppose there is previously some data stored into that particular file name, but when we are trying to use that, we are trying to redirect it, the new output into that particular file name, it will delete the previous one and store the new one. So this file name, if the file is already existing, so the data will be overwritten and we cannot get back the previous data. And if the file is not present, then what happens? A new file will be created. So this is the simple scenario. So ls my file name, right? Just a minute. Now the scenario is that again some ls, the greater than, double greater than symbol. What does it mean? That the double greater than symbol means to output the Linux command result to end of a file. So if there is a file, at the end of the particular file, the command result will be stored or will be directed. So ls, suppose ls greater than file name. If I write this particular part, it will show the output or the command of the shell script at the end of the file. And now the again some same scenario. If the file exists, it will open and new information data will be written to the end. In the previous one, the information will be changed. It will overwrite the data, right? So we are not able to get our previous data. But here in the double greater than scenario, what we are actually getting is the file will be open and the output will be redirected at the end of that particular file, at the end of that particular file, and without losing previous information data. So we are not actually losing our previous data, and also the new data will be stored here. Right? If the file not exists, then a new file will be created, the same scenario, and the output will be redirected into the new file. So that's the reference that in the single greater than the file, if it exists, the data will be overwritten and we are not able to get the previous data. But in the second part, the double greater than, we will able to get the data, we are able to get the previous data, and the new output will be redirected at the end of the line, at the end of the new file, right? And the last one, less than symbol, that to take input of the Linux command file, Linux command from file instead of keyboard. So here we are trying to take some input from the file in case of some keyboard. So the value will be the input value will be stored from the file that is present already in the system or the file that is present. So not any value from the user or the keyboard typing, writing anything. So just have less that cat less than my files. It is an example. So we can use this by use this particular less than. We are actually trying to put some value, trying to get some value from this particular file, from this particular file actually, right? Now the next part, that is cat greater than s name. So it is s name of file name, and we are trying to when I have shown you people the cat greater than s name. The cat is the file, the cat command is used to create a file or also at the same time to show a particular output of the file. So when cat greater than sname we are using means that we are trying to create a new file. A new file of sname will be created and we are trying to put some value into this. And what is the value? Vivek, Ashish, these values are inserted into the particular file. And then to stop it, to save it, we are using some control D command to save that particular file. So this command, the simple by one simple command can we can use in different ways. The cat, a single command we can use to create a new file, we can use to get the output of the particular file. So this, by using a simple command with some redirection scenario, redirection symbol, we can have multiple function actually. So that is that is I'm trying to say that by using this we can actually have this simple type of value. Now the next part, that is pipe. So we have heard the term pipe in the previous classes also. So what is this pipe actually? A pipe is a way to connect the output of one program to the input of another without any temporary file. So the purpose of that pipe is to connect the output of one program to the input of another program without any temporary file. So how the scenario looks like, we have seen here that output of the first command directly redirected to the take input from first command for this command. So pipe is the way to connect the output of one program to the input of another program without any type of temporary file. So what is the simple definition of pipe? We can say the pipe is defined as a temporary storage place where the output of one command is stored and then passed as the input for this second command and passed as the input for this second command. So pipes are used to run more than two commands, multiple commands from same command line. So a pipe syntax, we can see this is the syntax command one, piping signal command two. So a pipe is nothing but a temporary storage space where the output of one command is stored and then passed as the input for the second command. And the syntaxes we can see here, command one, piping value, command two. Right? This is the syntaxes for this. As an example, we can see here ls pipe mode. So there are two different commands. Ls is one command and mode is another command. We are using some piping value. So what happening is that output of this ls command, the first command, the output of the ls command is given as input to the mode command, so that the output is printed one screen full page at a time. So that ls, the output coming from the ls will be stored or will be redirected into the more command and given as input to the more command, so that the output is printed. Next one, who, piping value, piping size symbol, then short. The output of the who command is given as input to the short command. So it will print some sorted list of users. So the thing is that we can use the piping command to get some output, to pass some output of the first command into the second command. Second, the fourth one, we can say that who, piping value wc minus l. So wc is for the word count, minus l is for the lines. So who wc minus l means who is, we are using who command to get the number of users. So output of who command is given as input to the word count command, so that it will print the number of users who log on to the system. So by counting the number of lines in from the who command, it will show us the output that how many number of people are logging from that particular system, are currently logging from that particular system. So these are the options. By this piping command, we can actually use one particular command to provide us the output of second command, or to share the output from first command to the second command and get a redirected output, right? To get a redirected output. Now the next part, that is filter. So if a Linux command accepts its input from the part of standard input and produces its output on the standard output, is known as filter. So we are using some process. The Linux command accepts its input from a standard input process, right? And produces output on standard output is known as the filter. So a filter is performing some kind of process on the input and gives some output. So a filter performs some kind of processes on some kind of input and gives some output. So as an example, we can see there is an example, that is tail plus 20 less than hotel.txt, piping head minus n30 greater than h list, greater than h list. So what happened? The head, there is actually two particular command, tail and head. Piping value is used here, piping symbol is used here, and hotel.txt is a file name. So the head command is filter, which takes its input from the tail command. The tail command, the value will be passed to the head command through the piping symbol. And the tail command actually doing what? Start selecting from the line number 20. So in the file of hotel.txt, it will start to select from the line number 20. So that's why plus 20, it is written the plus 20 hotel.txt. So starting from the hotel file, starting from the line number 20, it will start selecting the processes and it passes the line as an input to the head. So whatever the lines coming from the line number 20, it will pass that to the head processes, whose output will be redirected to some h list file. So the output will be redirected in another file that is known as h list, that is known as h list. So head command and tail command, both the scenario are using through a piping symbol to get one value of from first command and produce it to the second command. The output will be processed into the second command, right? The one more example is given, that is short less than s name, piping unique greater than u underscore s name. So unique is the filter that takes its input from the short command and passes this line as input to unique. So these are the processes, or this by this is the process by which we can actually use this piping scenario. We can actually use this piping scenario. Now the thing is, we are not going to continue the class today for much more because I am unable to do it. So I would like you people to kindly write down names in the chat box for your attendance. The rest of the class will be continued in the next classes, right? So I would like to request all of you to write down names in the chat box for the attendance purpose. So all of you, the thing is that we have already completed the syllabus in previous classes. So now we are actually going for the revision one by one, talking about the scenario each and every point. And if in case if you people have any questions in your mind, any doubts that is going on, so you can also tell, or you can also ask in my next classes for the for doubt clearing. So if you people have also anything in your mind, then you can tell me, you can ask me that what is the problem or how what will be the answer. Okay. But as my health is not good for today, I am not be able to continue the class. So I would like all of you to leave the meeting. I'm going to end the class. Thank you all for joining into the session. Stay safe and take care.
Thank you, sir.